Gideon was once the strongest man in the lands, and lived in a world where you can only get stronger abilities by killing others. However, he was kicked out of the heroes' party because he pretended to be weak, so he decided to become a pharmacist and live in the countryside, where he met a girl who was willing to do anything to be by his side, and they began living together. A man comes and begs Red, which is Gideon's fake name, to come and help a child who has fallen ill. Red rushes to the room, and he finds the child is extremely ill and needs medicine that isn't available. He knows where to find it, and decides to risk it by going out of the safe zone to get the medicine for the child. When he leaves the premises, he activates his super speed, and we get an intense parkour scene. He finds a burning forest, and goes through it to find blood needles to cure the child. However, a bear comes to attack him, but Red jumps and slashes it off, ending it. Members of another party find it, and one of them recognizes this sword style. Red brings the medicine back and the child is cured from his illness now. The doctor thanks Red for being a brave adventurer and tells him that he would be delighted to buy medicine for him since he's the only traveler pharmacist. 4 months later, the hero Rit goes inside a store and hears that there's a celebration right now. She asks what the occasion is, and the lady tells her that Red is throwing a party, and that he's an herb gathering specialist who is celebrating his new apothecary opening. Rit seems intrigued by this. The next day, Rit enters his apothecary and sees him, recognizing him. Gideon also recognizes her. They begin having dinner together, and Gideon remembers that she's a princess of a foreign nation. She asks him why his name is Red because Red and Rit sound very similar, and he tells her that he couldn't think of anything else so he based it off hers. She is happy that he still thinks of her and remembers her. He tells her that he was kicked out of the party, and she is surprised because he was the only one holding the rest of the party together. They reminisce on all the times they spent together, and Rit remembers losing all of her party members and crying over losing them. He asks her if she's hungry, and she tells him that she's starving. He tells her that he will get her something to eat and fix something up. She asks him if she could work with him, and this surprises him. She tells him that the name Red and Rit's apothecary has a nice ring to it. He tells her that he can't afford to hire her because he has no customers, but she tells him that she will look over his shop while he gets herbs. She tells him that his business will grow, and asks him if he makes anything special. He shows her his multiplying potion, but she calls him stupid because that could crash the economy. She finds it relieving that he can be dumb at times because she thought he was a multi-talented and calm person that never made mistakes, and it made her feel far from him. She tells him that she feels happy to get to know him. He shows her painkillers that aren't addictive, and she tells him that he's very intelligent for that. He tells her that she can come by whenever she wants, and that he can't pay her much, but he would appreciate her help. She tells him that they will never be apart. Later on, they eat good food and Rit loves it. She tells him that she will enjoy his food every day, and he thinks that cooking will be more fun. She tells him that they'll build a bathtub and she'll pay for it. He tells her that he doesn't want her to spend that much on him, but she tells him that she doesn't mind because she'll use it too. This confuses him, but she goes on to say that she's also going to buy another bed tomorrow. He tells her that it sounds like she's moving in.
Well, yeah, that's because I am. I thought I made that clear.
Sensational.
The next day he wakes up on the floor and looks over to see some good old plot lying next to him and observes the eggs he'll be having for breakfast. He asks her if she slept well, and she tells him that she wasn't used to it so she didn't sleep well. He tells her he got the bed for next to nothing, but she tells him that's not why she had trouble sleeping. He has prepared a delicious meal for her and they will be going out to get a bed for her to sleep in with him. She tells him that she will only want a very cheap salary, and he thinks that is reasonable since she will be living with him anyway. He then realizes that it's very low for a person like Rit, and tells her to go with that, realizing that she had already planned to live with him so she doesn't make him pay her much. He thanks her, and she doesn't know why. They go inside the mattress store and the owner, Storm, is confused why Red is there with her. She tells him that she moved in with Red and that she's here with him to buy a mattress. The goblin is scared speechless. He then acts nicely towards Rit, and Red tells Storm that he wasn't this nice to him last time he was here. Storm tells him that it's because he haggled for 30 minutes over the cheapest mattress there is. She tells him that she wants a double bed, but he tells her to make it a single instead. Storm calls him a wuss, and Rit calls him a coward. They will get the bed delivered to them soon. Rit tells him that she enjoyed Storm's shop, and Red explains that it is because he has the craftsman blessing leveled up all the way. Red goes on to explain that everyone is given a blessing from birth, and they can only level it up in a single way, and that would be only to battle and slay someone who has a blessing. He sees children fighting, and one of them tries to throw a stone at Red. He tells the kid to beat it, and that he should be acting more mature at his age. The kids run, and Red asks Tanta if he's okay. Tanta tells his friend that Red is one of his friends who is an adventurer. Rit comes in, and Tanta asks why they're together. She tells him that they started living together recently. They go together to get their new painkiller approved. But the headmaster tells them that they came at the worst time possible because the previous painkiller is spreading around the black market and being misused. He tells her that he will personally approve her painkiller though because it's Rit. This makes them very happy. Rit tells him that it makes her happy that she was able to help him and that she would do anything for him. She then grabs his arm closer to her. They get home and realize they need a hit remedy for their shop to take off, because it will take too long for word to go around about their painkiller. They eat good food together, and then they realize that there's never been an apothecary that serves food. He then gets to put a nutritional supplement in with some apple jam, and begins to make some cookies and bakes them. They taste them and they happen to be tasty. The next day, Rit is offering samples for all the people and telling them to try them as they cure colds. The people are taken off guard. Rit also asks a person in the store if he would like to try some, but he doesn't want any. A mother comes in saying that she's heard this pharmacy offers medicine and cookies, and her child can't handle the taste of medicine. Red offers her a sample, and she tries it and loves it. Before they know it, the store is flooded, and they sell all the medicinal cookies they had. They high-five each other and Red grabs her by the waist and carries her. This makes Rit very happy and they begin celebrating together. She tells him that she's happy that she can help him, and Red tells her that he will never forget any words she says. Meanwhile, the heroes party that kicked Red out is struggling. The big man is mad for all the time they've been wasting in the middle of the desert. He tells him that he's mad he got rid of Red because they were never struggling when Red was around. The man tells him that he will leave this party because it is useless without Red, and that he made a fatal mistake kicking him out. The divine hero, Red's sister, comes out of the tent. He tells her that he wants to look for Red, and she tells him that he can go and look for Red. The next day, he wakes up to some more plot and nice eggs for breakfast. This time, he wants to put his sausage and bacon in the eggs. He's glad that he's living this life with her, instead of living a future of slaughter. A man comes into the shop, and Red asks him what medicine he's looking for. He tells Red that he wants the truth about the bear he saw. He knows that the wound came from a dull blade, which was like Red's dull blade. He threatens him again, and Red says it's not him. He holds his knife to his head, and that he wanted to invite him to his party. Red comes in, breaking his sword and destroying him. Red stops her, and she tells him that she may kill him for holding his sword up to Red. Red tells her that he was just asking him to join his party, and Rit tells him to get out. He runs scrambling, and Rit asks him if he's okay. She worries about him for not defending himself, but he tells her that he knew the soldier would stop at the last second. Red goes on to tell her to be more careful with her mead because it could have gone to waste. They have another lovely dinner together, and are glad they started living together. She remembers that they still need a tub, and that she would love to have a tub that would be big enough for both of them. He asks her if she would like to go to a sauna for the meantime, and she tells him that she would love to. The next day at the sauna, we are having an intense men's competition. Red is confused about how this is happening, and how this became an endurance test. Storm tells him that he should have gotten a double instead of a single, and Red thinks they should mind their own business. They start to make fun of him for being such a wuss, but he snaps and tells them to mind their own business. This startles them and they start being quiet. Storm is beginning to falter and says that it sure is hot. He then corrects himself and says that the summers sure are hot, and that the citizens just lay around and sleep and are lazy. The gray-haired man challenges him, telling him that he just hasn't lived in Zoltan, telling him not to make anything up because they're lazy in winter too. They continue challenging each other, and Red stands up and reveals his male plot. He warms up the sauna even more, and Gantz finally falls over. They realize there's no other customers here, and the old man tells them there's a new expensive sauna around, and everyone is leaving to go to it. They try to encourage him by all buying drinks. Rit sees this and loves seeing people helping each other. At home, they think about a way of trying to save his sauna. They ask Red if he has any ideas, and Red begins to think. Tanta tells him that the tea smells incredible, and Red realizes that he has an idea. He goes back to the sauna and shows him that he has brought a potpourri stick. He tells him it's a sack filled with herbs that can go over the sauna and can heal people as well as smell great. He tells him that if it works great, he will give him a steady supply. They put it in the sauna and the old man realizes that this could help him stay in business because the big bath houses don't have this. They are glad that they're able to help him, and he offers them a free bath for this. The girls then decide to enter to start developing plot. They tell him that they're both here because they wanted to share the sauna with him. He asks them why their plot is all out, and that now is married. She tells him that her husband doesn't need to know.
It's an evil world we live in.
He begins to leave, but Rit tells him to stay with them. Now tells him that a real man would accept the offer, and now sits and laughs at them for sitting next to each other blushing. Now tells Rit that Red is one of the best men she could be picking, and Red is ready to die from the heat. He doesn't understand how women can handle all the heat. Rit pushes her plot over him, and he finally dies. The sauna battle is back on again. They compliment Red for his idea, but Storm is beginning to fall apart. Now comes in, and Storm falls down. They walk back home, glad that his customers are being able to return. Red is surprised that she can find stuff like this to be so fulfilling. Now and her husband wave them goodbye, and Rit tells him that she thinks their family is lovely. On their walk back, she tells him that she got him the mead the other day because in her country, couple would take a month off from work when they got married, and they would drink mead together. She says that when she remembered that, she felt like drinking mead with him. Red and her decide to go home. The next day, a group of menacing men come at the door. They tell him that they want to meet with Rit. He tells them that he knows her well enough to reply for her and tells them that they need to wait if they want to speak with her. The man tells him that he's bold for making them wait, but they will wait for her. He tells her about the people waiting for her, but she tells him that she will make them wait even longer. She eventually goes out to meet them, and a man comes in the store. Red recognizes him from the Thieves Guild. He offers him an elven coin, which is worth $1 million in Red's currency in exchange for him cutting ties with Rit. Red tells him that it is way too cheap, and that even billions wouldn't be enough for him to give up being with Rit. He tells him that he knows the thieves are trying to buy him off with this coin because Rit is worth way more than that to them. The old men ask Rit what the problem is, but she tells them that she retired from this terrible life, and that she wants to just stay with Red and will leave the town with him if they continue to bother Red because they have a lifelong contract together. Red hears this and tells her that he is glad she said that for him. He asks her for her hand, and she offers it, and he gives her a present, saying it is a down payment on their life together. She sees that there's an amber gem on it, and that she might get the wrong idea with this. He tells her that he would get her something better, and asks her what her favorite gemstone would be. She tells him that she would love anything that he would get for her. Red is happy that she has the chance to finally stay with someone she loves. She remembers the times they used to adventure together, and how there was once an elf that used to be friendly with Red. They would walk around and Rit would get jealous about this. Red asked if she's okay, but she tells him not to worry about her because she doesn't need him to worry about her. He tells her that she's right, and this makes her upset. The elf girl tells her that there's a pond up ahead, and that they should take a bath there. The body of water. You know what that means. Plot, and even more elf plot. The elf girl tells her that she should try to not be mad at Gideon whenever she's jealous, and that she should actually show him that she loves him more instead. Rit asks her if she's also in love with Gideon, but she tells her that she can't fall in love with humans because they would die before her, and comforts her that she won't be stealing her man away. She remembers departing away from Gideon, and how she had to stay back to protect her nation but must depart from the man she loves. However, she is now with him again, and is happy to have that opportunity. The next day, Red walks in and sees a man passed out with some substance on the floor. He tells the doctor to give him a certain antidote, and Red explains that he has developed his first aid skill to mastery. They take the man back to the clinic and treat him. The doctor explains that this is from a narcotic that was recently approved, and that it's been going around killing people. He thanks Red for his quick work saving the man, and asks him for a bigger supply of the antidote. He goes back home and Red is hungry, and she tells him that she would love for him to make an omelet, and he makes her one that she enjoys. She tells him that the food is nice and hot just like her, and if I was Red, I would want to eat her juicy. Food, I meant food. He tells her that he would want to take her to the river for a barbecue. They go on Drake's and begin to race to the river. They cool drinks in the river and Red puts up a tent and she begins to develop plot. She asks him to look at her and he enjoys the view. They go into the pool and they begin splashing at each other. They sit and relax next to each other and he realizes that he has nothing to say to her. They begin laughing because they're awkward with one another and Red thinks she'd be used to this sort of thing. She thinks he's calling her experienced, but he tells her that he thought she was very straightforward when she came to his shop. She tells him she kept worrying that he'd forgotten her or would reject her. She hugs him and tells him to enjoy the moment. She then leans in and kisses him, telling him that she'd like to move their relationship forward. If you got to this point of the video, you're a true man of culture. Let's team up against the haters and spam the comments section saying, "Rip Red, I can't believe he was killed by Orange." They'll think this show turned into Among Us. If you want the next part, make sure to blow this video up with likes. Till next time.